Hello, everyone. Welcome back to today's episode of Speak to Transform. And today I have a special guest that you're going to want to tune in to hear all about her journey as a let's just dive right in here, and I'm going to introduce her. We have met through another organization that we were both involved with as coaches and just stayed connected, and I love showcasing kingdom women entrepreneurs, but also women who are in different sectors of society and shining their light in a way that is just using what God has given them, the opportunities, the doors, the influence to bring about his kingdom work and to be a voice of influence wherever God might have you. So today's guest is Brea Sharron Estep. And Brea is she was Mrs. United States 2021. She's a board certified integrative health practitioner, a personal trainer, and a group fitness instructor, as well as a business coach and a keynote speaker. And I've kind of lost my other part here, but I'm going to bring her on here and introduce the rest of her. Hello, Brie. Good to see you.
Hello, I'm so excited, Lisa. Thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome. I'm sorry I butchered your name. I go like Brea. Brie. You go by Brie?
It's like a Michael Mike thing, Brea. So whatever you say, I'll take it.
What is your preference?
We'll go Brea. We'll sound
Okay. Okay,
professional
so I
today.
didn't butcher it. I thought I was like, okay, I think it's Brea. I'm just going to show this picture here as this is Mrs. United States 2021. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I want to know, first of all, before we get into other things, how did this come about for you? Tell us a little bit about the backstory of how you came to that place and maybe some of the journey that you want to share with us.
Oh, pull up a snack and grab some popcorn and get you a drink. It's been quite the journey and quite the ride. So I guess my story started when I was younger. I grew up pretty healthy. My parents made sure that we had vegetables, but they gave us milk and whole grain cereal and made sure it was wheat bread instead of white bread. But for the most part, we were pretty healthy. And I dealt with chronic back pain issues for a long time. And those issues just got worse and worse and worse. And I was prescribed
Mm.
medications, then other medications for the side effects of those medications, and then other medications for that. And then there was a turning point in life where I had just come home from my afternoon shift at work at the personal training studio and gym that I owned. And it took me a little bit more than a lot of effort to get out of the car. And then I was standing there at the bottom of the stairs and I looked up and I didn't think I could make it literally up those stairs. And I remember being like, this isn't normal. So I was physically exhausted, but I was also emotionally and mentally exhausted because I was, of course, in pain, but I was also dealing with 30 pounds of weight gain from doing all of the right things. I was eating low carb. I was eating no sugar. I was doing cardio and weight 6 days a week. I owned a gym, for crying out loud. And I felt like an imposter because here I was telling all of these other women, you should work out. You should, eat this, eat that, watch your carbs, watch sugar, all of that. But I just kept gaining weight. And I just felt like an imposter, and I was just an emotional wrecking ball on top
Mm.
of anyone and everyone and all of my relationships around me. And I knew that I wasn't the only one because all of the women that I worked with every single day at my studio and COVID happened, and that didn't work out so well for gym owners. And I transitioned to the online space, and the more women that I connected with, the more that I heard the same story. I'm doing all of the right stuff. Like, I don't understand
Mm.
what I'm doing wrong. So that's actually what got me into pageantry, believe it or not, is sharing my story. It started off with a college project, Youth Fitness Link, because in pageantry, we all have a platform. And the
Mhm.
platform is, for me, Youth Fitness Link, my nonprofit organization that's aimed to prevent the stuff that I see every single day as an integrative health practitioner. So 30% of adolescents are considered obese, and about 50 or 60%, depending on where you're looking, are considered overweight. So I
Mm.
knew I had to do something, and that's why I got into pageantry, is really just to share that message. And that took me all the way to Mrs. United States. And it's just been a fun ride and a blessing.
Wow, wow. And I'm sure there was probably a lot of learnings, a lot of things along that way that how long is that process to go from when you decide, yes, I'm going to go for this to when you were crowned?
So for me, I lost more pageants than I have won. I want to say about 6 years for me, from okay, I'm going to do a pageant until and again, it's the evolution and the process of learning how to present yourself on stage. I know you're amazing at that, but those are skills that I had to learn, and also how to
Mhm,
articulate my message, as well as evolving through my nonprofit,
mhm,
and what I was sharing, and the person that I was reaching, and learning how to network, but also how to take that platform deeper and wider, as well as even louder. So I connected with the Boys and Girls Club nationally and served with them, connected locally, and just met a bunch of amazing people along the way that just fueled the fire.
mm. And now you represent your home state, North Carolina, right? As the Miss United States. Now, I want to ask you a question because I know there's different categories now that I've seen out there. Have they kind of separated out the whole pageantry into different Mrs. Women United States, Can you talk about that?
Yes. So we like to, I don't know I like to say it's kind of like fast food. So you've got your McDonald's, you've got your Taco Bell, you've got your Wendy's, Burger King, all of those. But they're all fast food restaurants under that same umbrella, same as
Mm,
pageantry. But Taco Bell is extra special for their tacos. I think Burger King has great fries, McDonald's has the dollar menu, Burger King has the Whopper, whatever. I'm not promoting fast food. Let me just say that here now. But they all have their specialties. So my system, Mrs. United States, for anybody that's seen the movie Miss Congeniality with Sandra Bullock, that's actually our system. They bought the rights to that TV show from us. So there's your bigger systems, as well as there's also some like smaller fast food restaurants, Jack in the Box, Checkers, I don't even know. But same idea. So we're one of the bigger systems,
mhm,
that we have different divisions in there. So we have Mrs. United States, which is actually how the pageantry started, because after mostly everything was like Miss America and Miss Universe, and there wasn't anything for married women, but we wanted to showcase Isabella Lacqua, our founder, wanted to showcase. That just because you're married and you have children and you have a career doesn't mean that life's over. We wanted to
mhm.
highlight all of the many things that women do, the multifacets that women do. So that's how that was created. And then there's a Ms. Woman, and there is of course our teen divisions and our little divisions and
Mm,
divisions all together. But it's an amazing
that's
organization.
so
We're all
good.
just
So after the fact, I mean, life's you still have that notoriety and everything. What are some of the things that are kind of offshoots of that after winning that title back in 2021, like that you are involved with today? That
Yeah, still in contact with so many amazing pageant women, and I love. I've retired from pageantry. I've said I've hung up my pageant heels, but I love going to events and helping support and all of that.
Mm,
Women, because of what they're doing with their platforms, I love the why behind pageantry. So I think most women get, or even girls, get into pageantry for the sparkly hat and the dresses and the shoes and the hair and the makeup, and I love all of those things. But really, you get that pageant bug, as we like to say, and get hooked from the platform and the people that you meet. And you really are, I like to say, a legacy, being the change that you wish to see in the world. And
wow.
that just literally gets addictive. I mean, you can't outgive God, but also the more you give and the more you serve, the more you want to give and the more you serve. It feels almost selfish when you do it.
Yeah, because you're giving of so much now. So I know that you've also written a book. First of all, you're a proud mom of Hunter. Is that right?
Yes.
And that's a whole new shift in life, hey?
Yes, that has been, I like to say that I've tried hard things in life, but having a toddler
Yes.
and a baby is the hardest thing I've ever done in life. Shout out to all of you moms with multiples, biological or not biological moms.
Yes.
Yeah, just unsung heroes.
Yes, yes, it is joy and definitely very, very life changing and stretching in so many ways. So that is so cool. So now I know you've also written a book, the Amazon #1 bestseller, Holistic Health Clean Eating Cookbook. So this is interesting. So let's talk a bit about the clean eating concept. What does that mean for people who are not familiar with that? I know it's out there, but there's a lot of terms out there.
Yes, definitely. Great question. And I'll say when I got started, actually probably should have said this too, but I actually started in fitness shows. And in the fitness world, there is a lot of products that are labeled and marketed as health products, but they're loaded with artificial dyes, colors,
Mm,
flavors, sweeteners. So at first the term eating clean was not eating sugar for the most part. And then that evolved when we learned how dangerous artificial flavors, dyes, fillers, sweeteners, all of that is. So eating clean is really just not all of those added fillers in there, the colors, the dyes, the flavors, the sweeteners, and all of that, avoiding that stuff. Eating what God designed us to make, what grows in the ground, avoiding stuff in a box or a bag. Of course, there's exceptions to every rule, like you might get some brown rice in a
mhm.
bag or something like that, but not processed food.
That is so good, and I think that's become even more so in the mind of people since we've come through the COVID era, and, particularly in your country, in the United States, so I'm in Canada, but I know that there's a big push from the top, from the federal government to really clean up a lot of the food industry in that regard, particularly for children, and so that's really I love that, I think that's fantastic because we wanna know what's in our food, right? What's affecting us.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing that gets me again is when things are marketed as health products, like, oh, try these health, this healthy supplement. It
Mm,
doesn't have sugar or it's low fat or whatever it may be. And then it's loaded with all of these neurotoxins and endocrine disruptors that mess with our hormones and carcinogens and all of this stuff. But again, it's market. We think that we're doing something healthy. And
mm.
that's really what lights my fire these days is finding those things. That are actually healthy and celebrating those brands that put people over profits.
Yeah, that's so good. So tell me a little bit about if someone was struggling with what you described earlier as I'm doing all the right things and da 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 da. What would be a few steps that you would have them do, or okay, this is the first thing we need to do, this to be able to understand maybe what needs to change so that they can reach their fitness goals or primarily in their weight in terms of if they're wanting to lose weight or maintain a weight and they're not able to do that doing what they think are the good things that they're doing.
Yeah, definitely. Great question. And I'll say this, if I can leave our listeners with one thing today, it's hope. Hope deferred
Mm,
makes the heart sick. So I want to start with hope and I
mm,
want to let anybody know that's going through the same struggle that I dealt with and see all the time is your body's not broken. It's designed to heal. God designed it to heal. It's just trying to tell us something. We just have to know how to listen.
mm,
And that comes through differently for everybody. So, and as much as I love, Google gurus and all of that, there is some good advice out there, but it gets washed out with all of the bad advice. But my personal advice is the first place to start is you need to know exactly what you need, your specific toxicities, your specific deficiencies,
mm,
personalized wellness. We need to eliminate those toxicities. We need to replace those deficiencies to get your body back to a state of equilibrium where it
mm.
can and where it will heal itself. So let me just give you hope that if I can heal, you can too. And as far as general advice, watch out for the artificial dyes, colors, flavors, and sweeteners. Like if there's one thing I can get you to do, it's just to knock those out. And I tell
Mm.
clients, actually, I bet money. I probably shouldn't say that, but I do. I will bet my clients money. I will bet you $100 if you knock out the artificial sweeteners, the sucralose, the Splenda, the aspartame, the NutraSweet might be a little bit different there in Canada. There might be some other ones that I don't know about.
Mhm.
But if you knock those artificial sweeteners out and you don't feel better within 2 weeks, I'll leave you alone. Like, I'll leave you alone and I'll give you $100. I've yet to give $100. So here's your challenge. That goes for anybody listening. I'll give you $100 if you don't feel better in 2 weeks.
Wow.
But avoiding all of those and then making sure that we're drinking more water, half of our body weight in ounces every single day, and moving more, whether it's, just taking the stairs an extra couple times, a couple laps around the couch, whatever,
Mhm.
be moving more and getting more sunshine and taking a functional medicine multivitamin. Those are
Mhm.
really, really, really big things that will make a huge difference. And little hinges swing big doors.
Mhm. Yeah, that's so true. So tell me about the functional medicine
Yeah.
multivitamin, because that's a very specific kind of multivitamin.
Yes, absolutely. So don't make the same mistake that I did. Again, I gained 30 pounds in less than 3 months. Don't learn from my mistakes. Let me help you out from my mistakes. Don't get your vitamins where you're getting your toilet paper and paper towels. It was me. Hi, I'm the problem. So,
It's so good.
places like Walmart and the big box stores, they are focused on being the low cost leader, and that's really where they specialize. Again, I don't mind using cheap toilet paper, but I don't want a cheap multivitamin that I put in my body.
Mm.
So minerals are our spark plugs of life, and we need them in the proper ratios in order for our body to work best. And minerals also buffer stress. So I want to make sure that I'm getting what I need, and I'm getting a vitamin that is third party tested.
Mm.
Now, I'm going to go in the weeds just a little bit here. Another thing about functional medicine supplements, and I'm super particular on multivitamins and omega 3s, like a vitamin C or something like that. If you have to get it somewhere else, it's not as potentially detrimental to your health. But if you are using non methylated versions of a multivitamin, and you would have an MTHFR gene mutation, which roughly 1/3 of the population does. I've also heard up to a half. Most people don't know it. So they're, again, that's where that variation comes in. Um, if you are taking non-methylated versions, they could store in your liver and become toxic. So if I see something like like a cyanocobalamin for a B12 on a vitamin, so definitely check your vitamins, ladies. If I see that on a vitamin, then again, it could store and become toxic. And also, a cyanocobalamin is one molecule away from cyanide. We don't want that.
Oh
Like,
my goodness.
yeah,
I can't even say it.
yeah, like I'm taking some time.
Wow. So we really need to know what we're looking for on the labels as well. Is that generally on the label?
No, not necessarily. There's certain brands that I trust. You'll see a GMP certification.
Mm.
So, and it's going to be different for you guys in
Yeah.
Canada. The ones that I use can ship to Canada. And I use a couple different brands that are functional medicine multivitamins.
Yeah. Do you
But
mind
those,
sharing what they are?
no problem.
Yeah.
So Equal Life is the main one that I use. Thorn, Pure Encapsulations, Integrative Therapeutics, Apex Energetics are the five main, now I'm getting tongue-tied, five main functional medicine brands that I know, use, and trust. That's pretty much all of the functional medicine brands that are out there. So those are going to be your best options. They have the third-party testing.
Mm.
They're putting profits before people, and you're getting the dosage that you
You're
say.
putting people before profits.
Yes,
Sorry.
yes, yes.
You said
People were
profits
profits. Let me not
people.
mix that up. Yes. So that's what we want to look for, is that GMP certification. That's going to be huge, and that's going to tell us that they are third party tested. We're also looking and again, a GMP certification, it's very strict standards, and they are going to have what they say is in there. So it's not like, oh, ashwagandha works great, but the study dosage is 5,000 milligrams a day, and they have 5 milligrams per day. So you're getting
Mm.
what you pay for too. So you really do come out better in the long run. And we have all of these biochemical reactions running through our body every single day. So because our soil is so degraded, we need to make sure that we are taking and our environment is so toxic, we need to make sure that we are taking a functional medicine multivitamin just as our standard baseline, just to keep up.
Wow, that's such good information there. And I'm sure there are places that people can go to find these multivitamins.
Yes, yes. Come on over. Feel free to ask me anytime. I've got a great Facebook group that I have where I recommend stuff, answer any questions, all of that completely free. It's kind of my way of paying it forward.
Fantastic.
There's about 1,300 of us in there. So it's a great community. So come on over. Holistic
Fantastic. And
Health.
yeah,
Oh,
that's a good segue. What is the name of that Facebook group?
yes, Holistic Health, Wellness, and Weight Loss. So that's over there for you guys.
And holistic is HOL or WH? Okay, HOL.
HOL. Yeah. Yeah.
Say it again. Holistic.
HOL. Yeah.
No, it's the whole name.
Oh, holistic health, wellness, and weight loss.
Okay, fantastic. So you can go there inside the Facebook group, answer the questions on the way in, and make sure and get some great information. I'm going to go in there myself and look around and just be a part of that world, because you know what? You can never stop learning about this, because there's so many changes that are happening, like you said, in our world, that we need to keep up to and say what is the best, but also being in tune with our own body, right? As we go through the different seasons of life that we need to be in tune with. So Brea, anything else that you want to leave with our listeners today that that you haven't said?
I just want to encourage everyone to be your own health advocate. I mean, that's part of my story as well. I don't talk about it too much. But I believe doctors have our best interests at heart for the most part. There's exceptions
Mm,
to every rule, but most people go to a doctor and they want a drug and a diagnosis. And if they don't get a drug and a diagnosis, they don't feel like they've been served.
mm,
So what's a doctor going to do in the maybe 5 minutes they have with you? They're
yeah,
gonna give you a drug and a diagnosis. What are they gonna study? Drugs and diagnoses. And I'm just going to say, be your own health advocate. Never stop researching. Never give up on yourself. Keep that hope
mm.
alive. That again, you too can heal. Your body's not broken. It's designed to heal, and it can heal, and it will heal, because that's what God designed.
That's so good. So I'm. It sounds like there was a story behind that. Is that something you want to share in a snapshot of, or?
Whew, sure. Like I said, pull up some popcorn. Might need to refill the snacks in the water.
I,
I'll get
I
a sip of
say that
water
I say
myself.
that Brea, because I know that during I like to call it the whatever the last 4 or 5 years, the COVID era that we walked through. I had to be an advocate for my husband, and I was just like so eye opening about some things, and it's very important that we understand, yeah, that sometimes not everything that comes our way is accurate or best for us. And so that's why I'm curious about your story.
Yeah, yeah. So everything takes a back burner to stress in your body. So when
Mm,
your body is stressed out mentally, physically, and emotionally, our bodies can't deal with the internal stress when it's dealing with the external stress, and it can't deal with the external stress when it's dealing with internal stress.
mm,
So for me, I was dealing with chronic pain, and I was prescribed prescription painkillers in high school, which then led to, I'm going to try and get the order right, which then led to, I believe it was antidepressants and then anti-anxiety. And then I was given birth control for my irregular periods. I had loads of gut issues. I have been diagnosed with, oh goodness, scoliosis, a rare type of spina bifida, arthritis, tendonitis, fibromyalgia, thyroid adrenal hormone issues. My estrogen dropped to that. Somebody postmenopausal in my early 20s. Um,
wow.
Infertility for 7 years, kidney issues, gut issues, skin issues, anxiety, depression, like literally just a plethora of things. And that's when I became my own health advocate, when I was
Mm,
like, there's absolutely no way I can be this sick. Like I'm doing all of the right things. And again, I was, but what happened? What changed it? And I would go to my doctor and oh, you're fine, just work out more and eat less. And I'm like, no, like I am starving, starving. I am starving. I'm working out literally for a job. It's my living. I own a gym. That's literally what I'm doing, is working out for a living. And then I was brushed aside by many doctors that were like, oh, your blood work's fine. You're fine. It's just fine. It's all in your head. Your head? Are you kidding? I'm not going to waste my time going to the doctor if it's all in my head. And then I was laughed at by very, very, very actually many medical professionals. And being pregnant and dealing with again, after 7 years of infertility and miscarriage, which I'm sure I know so many have dealt with. So huge hugs to all of those mamas of angels out there, and all of those who are still in their journey to become mamas. Again, if I can have a little one, you can too. So let me provide hope there. But was flat out bullied. and I was told some really rough stuff that you should never tell a patient, especially a pregnant woman. I
Wow.
was told I'd never forgive myself for killing my child if I didn't induce when there was no need to induce. Um,
Wow.
and there literally was no reason other than the hospital didn't want to get sued and they wanted me to go into labor before a holiday. Um, I was had a doctor force herself physically on me. So just some really rough stuff. And I was told some pretty horrible things that it's not my battle to fight, but it's becoming my battle to fight, unfortunately. So huge hugs to everybody that has walked that road, and I know I'm not the only one because I get messages all
Mm,
the time about that. But I've learned to be my own health advocate and do my own research when I can and wherever I can. And there are wonderful doctors out there. I have a
yes.
wonderful pediatrician for my son, like a wonderful pediatrician. And I have found some great doctors along the road. But there's been so many that has completely burned my trust in the medical system. So many of us say that we don't move over to holistic functional medicine because we want to. We move over to that side because we have to, because we're forced to.
Mm,
So
mm.
that's that.
Wow. I do want to give people hope. Thank you for sharing that, Brea, because I know there's probably people listening today who are walking in that right now, having diagnosis of some sort or multiple places, and just feel like this is my lot in life. I'm just going to have to stay on whatever medication for the rest of my life. And we're not advocating and we're not telling you to get off your medication. But I want to just echo what Brea said, is like, do your research, seek out other ways. But sometimes there's things that are put on us that are like curses, really. They're curses over us that are not meant for us to hang on to. And so I just want to encourage you, if you have that and you feel like, you know what, there's got to be something more, there's got to be a way, reach out to Brea, go in her Facebook group, begin to learn from her, begin to glean from the others and see what God might want to do. And because I believe, yes, there is hope and healing in whatever situation we might find yourself. God has an answer that He wants to provide. So thank you so much, Brea. I appreciate your time and sharing with us a bit of your journey, a bit of your life, and nuggets of wisdom. It's so good to reconnect with you.
You as well. Thank you so much, Lisa. I'm excited for our listeners just to see what they do with that hope.
Yes, yes. And if you want to get Brea's book, is that on Amazon or do you have it somewhere else?
It is over on Amazon, the Holistic Health Clean Eating Cookbook.
Awesome. Good. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Brea. Have a great day. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time. And make sure you check out the other interviews and videos in this series. And we'll look forward to connecting with you real soon. Have a great day, everyone. Bye. As you're listening today, you may have felt prompted to say, I want to become a much better speaker. I want to be able to speak with confidence, clarity, and transformational impact. I want to invite you to check out the link in the comments below, wherever you're listening to this. Your voice is an instrument of transformation and needs to be heard. So let it be heard.